Subnormal. Subnormal intelligence is considered the most limited range of human mental ability. Individuals in this category often have an IQ under 70, which may stem from genetic conditions such as Down syndrome, developmental complications, or brain injuries. They typically face challenges with memory, language, and abstract reasoning. Everyday activities, like dressing, eating, or following simple instructions, often require lifelong help. Their interaction with the world is primarily sensory and immediate. Tone of voice and physical touch often register more strongly than logic or spoken explanations. Despite these limits, emotional awareness can remain sharp. Many can detect kindness, fear, or irritation in others. Although independent living is unlikely, they are capable of forming deep emotional attachments, expressing happiness, sadness, or closeness in ways that don't rely on words. Today's approach emphasizes dignity, care, and inclusion, moving away from outdated and derogatory labels. With consistent love, guidance, and support, people at this level are able to lead fulfilling lives within the boundaries of their abilities. Below average. Below average intelligence describes people who are able to live on their own, but often find complex reasoning and abstract thought more challenging. Their IQ usually falls between 70 and 85. Academic areas such as grammar, science, or mathematics can be tough, yet they often learn more effectively through repetition and practical, hands-on experience rather than theory. They tend to do well in stable, structured settings with predictable routines, for example, roles in caregiving, customer interaction, or manual trades. Although they may not excel in traditional classrooms, many develop strong real-world and social skills. They are often loyal, personable, and emotionally aware. This level of ability is frequently underestimated, but with encouragement and opportunity, people here can build independent lives, raise families, and make valuable contributions to society. They flourish when others recognize their strengths instead of focusing solely on their limitations. Average. The majority of people fall into this range, even though many believe they don't. Average intelligence allows someone to read, write, handle math, follow directions, and hold everyday conversations. It supports understanding cause and effect, making plans, and learning from past errors. This is the intelligence of daily life, routines, relationships, and solving common problems. You recognize what needs doing, and you usually manage to do it. Teachers, drivers, nurses, technicians, shopkeepers, society depends on them. Without average intelligence, the world simply wouldn't function. It's steady, adaptable, and practical. But here's the twist. This level often feels like the finish line. People in this range may think they've figured things out without realizing their blind spots. They sometimes mistake confidence for knowledge and don't push themselves to ask deeper questions, because life already seems to work fine. It's a secure place to be, but also a sticky one. Most remain here not due to lack of ability, but because they never feel compelled to grow further. Above average. Above average intelligence is where thinking speeds up. You don't just absorb knowledge, you leap ahead with it. Patterns appear where others see none. You can anticipate outcomes before most people even recognize a problem exists. In school, the pace may have felt slow, repetitive, or dull. Even conversations can feel like waiting in line. People at this level often thrive in abstract or technical fields, mathematics, programming, engineering, or philosophy. They're drawn to complexity, puzzles, and intricate systems. But there's a downside. Seeing too much too soon can be isolating. You may hold back in conversation, constantly editing yourself. Sometimes you pretend to be ordinary just to keep interactions smooth. Frustration grows, not from believing others are unintelligent, but from wishing they could keep up with your pace. And without balance, sharper thinking can slip into detachment. You rise above the noise, but risk forgetting how to stay connected to the very people around you. High intelligence usually refers to IQ scores between 130 and 145, roughly the top 2% of people. At this level, learning isn't just quick. It often feels like jumping ahead. Solutions appear in your mind before others have even framed the problem. Skills include rapid pattern recognition, abstract reasoning, and handling intricate systems with ease. In school, these individuals may breeze through advanced lessons or dive independently into subjects far beyond the classroom. They often gravitate toward logic games, in-depth debates, or solo research. Fields like theoretical science, advanced computing, or philosophy tend to attract them, since these areas thrive on strategy and abstract thought. Socially and emotionally, life can feel lonely or out of sync, especially when young, as mental speed develops far faster than emotional maturity. but with the right support, they grow into innovators and problem solvers who expand horizons. High intelligence isn't just being smart, it's the ability to think in ways that most people never even consider. Gifted intelligence usually begins where abilities rise far beyond the norm, often with IQs above 145. But giftedness isn't just about a number. These individuals take in the world with unusual speed, depth, and originality. Even as children, they may display exceptional memory, intense concentration, and a knack for linking big ideas across different fields. They might pick up music on their own, design machines out of scraps, or draft novels before finishing school. Rather than simply solving problems, they often reshape the way problems are even understood. Their thinking is inventive, unconventional, and often years ahead of their peers. Yet this sharpness can bring struggles. Impatience with slow systems, difficulty fitting in socially, or powerful emotions that can be overwhelming. Their intellect runs fast, but so do their feelings. With the right encouragement, they grow into inventors, visionaries, and original thinkers who expand the boundaries of human knowledge and creativity. Genius-level intelligence isn't simply being smarter. It's a completely different design of mind. Geniuses don't just tackle problems. They reconstruct the very framework beneath them. They don't just apply rules. They question why those rules exist at all. Think of Albert Einstein. Think of Ramanujan. These are people whose minds don't just run faster. They run in entirely new directions. At this stage, breakthroughs emerge. Whole paradigms are overturned. Science, art, philosophy, each can be reimagined when such individuals speak. But living with genius rarely feels like a blessing from the inside. It often feels like traveling at light speed while everyone else walks. Others can't keep pace. Systems can't contain them. Even admiration can sound hollow, as if the world is applauding in the wrong language. And more often than not, geniuses face rejection before recognition, labeled too radical, too unusual, or simply too far ahead of their time. Polymath is a genius with breadth. Where many extraordinary minds dedicate themselves to a single field, polymaths stretch across several. They may be inventors, scientists, writers, and artists, sometimes all within the span of one lifetime. History gives us figures like Leonardo da Vinci, who painted, engineered, and explored anatomy, or Benjamin Franklin, who influenced politics, printing, and science alike. What sets this level apart is not just knowledge, but the ability to weave connections between disciplines. For them, math and music, biology and philosophy, are not separate worlds, but interconnected patterns. Their curiosity feels endless, and their creativity thrives on diversity. Polymath-level achievement requires more than a high IQ. It also takes persistence, discipline, and a genuine passion for learning. Often, they dedicate decades to questions too vast for any single subject to resolve. In a culture that prizes narrow specialization, polymaths remind us of the extraordinary power of wide-ranging thought. Visionary intelligence goes beyond understanding the world as it is. It imagines what the world could become. It blends brilliance with foresight and the courage to act. Where a polymath masters many domains, a visionary looks past existing frameworks altogether, introducing concepts that first appear impossible until they reshape reality. Visionaries link science, society, and spirit into patterns others overlook, then take bold steps to bring those ideas to life. This level of thinking comes with risk. Visionaries often disrupt traditions, face rejection, and carry the weight of skepticism. Yet they continue, driven by conviction and daring. Their ideas don't just spark conversations. They ignite industries, movements, and turning points in history. Visionary intelligence isn't only about being clever. It's about harnessing intellect to push the future into new directions. Transcendent intelligence represents the highest tier of mind. Here, intellect is no longer about finding answers. It becomes a state of awareness. These individuals don't just connect dots. They question the very existence of the dots. They see beyond ego, beyond systems, even beyond thought itself. They recognize recurring patterns in human nature, cycles within consciousness, and the illusions that shape identity. Think of Buddha, think of Jung, think of Socrates, figures who didn't only seek knowledge, but understood our deeper hunger for it. Transcendent intelligence is not flashy. It is quiet, still, and often misunderstood, sometimes even mistaken for madness, because it unsettles the foundations of how we see ourselves. Such people do not dominate, they dissolve. They guide gently without force. At this stage, intelligence is no longer in service of the individual, It is in service of truth. And if you'd like to journey further into these explorations, stay connected. I'll be creating more soon.